with anger, with black humour and with love. Those of you who heard his session, I think it was on Saturday, of his new memoir, Out of Copley Street, will know that these are all the things that he brings to his poetry. Geoff.
Here's a poem called First Flush, which is on my own emerging sexuality as a young man. Like many boys at 13, I was obsessed with sex. Stick books lined the bottom of my kit bag, while testosterone dripped out of my body 24/7, like the leaking tap at the bottom of our garden. Each night I'd roll around alone in my single bed, trying to divert my amorous thoughts by reciting Pythagoras' theorem. Or I'd learn by rote lines from a John Masefield poem, or perhaps Wordsworth, or even Longfellow. But some nights the mere thought of Longfellow would send me off to thoughts of sex. And I'd conjure up the lanky girl with a ponytail who'd serve me from behind the checkout at Woolies, and what we might do together when the store closed. Other nights it might be the girl behind the counter at the chemist shop who'd know where the frangers were kept. And I'd wonder if I'd ever get brave enough to ask for a packet of 3, and if I did, would she blush, or would she say, "We've also got packets of 12? And what would I say then? But more often than not, I'd conjure up an image of that older woman who took me by surprise as I was dropping off 2 pints of milk on the run one morning. How she opened up the front door around 6:30 one chilly autumn morning as I placed those clinking bottles in her wire carrier. Then rattled me when she suddenly stepped out barefoot on that cold concrete veranda, her red painted toenails almost glowing. And when I looked up, our eyes met momentarily, and then mine fell lazily down her body. Her translucent pink nylon nightie was all that separated us, apart from about 20 years. And I knew she saw my eyes travel and gleam as I surveyed her near nakedness. And even now I can still remember the cup of her breasts, the protrusion of her nipples, and the look of that soft fur that I longed to stroke. But I was scared too that she was going to invite me inside. I knew her husband would then be able to read my mind, and I ran back to the horse and cart, flushed with embarrassment, and far too fearful to look back as much as I wanted to. It took another 3 years before a girl older and far more experienced than me took me midwinter on the cold vinyl back seat of a Holden Special late one evening. The frosted windows where we had earlier written forever and drawn love hearts and arrows and our initials with our wet fingertips, both of us knowing nothing, but that night thinking we owned the world and each other. And all that I had been dreaming of and planning and scheming for the past 3 years took fully 3 minutes to execute. And even that is perhaps a gross exaggeration.